Let me talk about the spirits Sangomas are using, especially the spirits called familiar spirits. I'm dealing with the topic of familiar spirits this week. That Sangomas are, most of them, it's familiar spirits, are spirits that are familiar with the act of Obungoma. Let me explain to you so that you will understand that when a Sangoma is alive, he might be having maybe 50 spirits in him. 50 spirits, when that Sangoma dies, the spirits are still alive. So simply because the spirits want to be having a body to live in. Those 50 spirits, remember, the Sangoma is dead, but the spirits are still alive. So those spirits are going to use the body of the very same Sangoma into speaking to one of the family member in the dream that you need to take my bones. You need, because those spirits are familiar with who, with the one who was carrying them. So now, the moment you think you are accepting the call, you are actually allowing the familiar spirits, 50 of them, to live in your body. And you are going to start to manifest whatever thing you want to manifest, simply because you are now having them in your body. This is what happens. That's why Sangomas, they are what we call necromancers. Necromancers are the kind of Sangomas who can resurrect familiar spirits, who can have access to allow familiar spirits to come to their body in order for them to tell you what you came to ask. So this is how it works. They are going to basically look for a spirit that possessed your mother when your mother is still alive. So if you come and you say, you tell them your name or your surname, what they are going to do is they are going to connect your name with a spirit that once possessed the name that you are giving them. Is, for example, if it's your mother or your surname, they are going to look at spirits that are connected to that surname. So that spirit is going to come pretending to be your mother, because that spirit was familiar with your mother. So this is what will happen. That spirit will start to speak through that Sangoma. And it will sound like it's your mother because the spirit was familiar with your mother. Now, when you hear the Bible saying the Bible does not say do not consult Sangomas. It says do not consult familiar spirits. In other words, the Bible tells you that when you consult a Sangoma, you are actually consulting familiar spirits. They are going to give you information you are looking for. They can tell you your problem. They can tell you everything, because not because they have a solution, simply because the spirits they are having in their body are familiar to your spirits. That's why before they can help you, they will tell you to do what? To blow in your bones. The moment you blow into bones, you are explaining who you are. You are telling a Sangoma the spirit or of your family, who you are. So with the trace of you, with the trace of the spirit you blew on the bones, they are going to find a familiar spirit connected to you. That spirit will come to a Sangoma and go inside the Sangoma. We call it incarnation. Incarnation is when a spirit enters into a body, and then that spirit starts to speak through the body, yet it is not a Sangoma that is now speaking. That's why before they can do all those things, you will hear them doing chants, doing incantations, speaking voices that will utter, that will provoke or that will invite familiar spirits. So when those familiar spirits come, they will, each and every family has this spirit that will possess one, and it will be familiar with the history of the family and what is happening in the family. So what they will do, those familiar spirits are very smart. They will come and talk about a story that will draw you closer to them in the name of your parents. For an example, if you went there to consult about your mom who is making you suffer in the dream, that's where you will realize that the very same thing you came for, they already know. Because they prepared the dreams before you went to a Sangoma. They played the whole game in your dream, so that at the end of the day you will go to a Sangoma, and a Sangoma will use the very same familiar spirits that visit you in the dream to give you a direction. And I'm telling you, the direction will not be funny. You will suffer. Thank you. The Lord Jesus Christ is Lord. Share these videos for others to learn, please, please.
Hello Mzansi, welcome to Mkosi waseMzansi. This is Pastor Sipho Baloyi. Pastor Sipho Baloyi ukhuluma ngemadloti kokuthi into emadloti nje ayikho. The reason why abantu bathwasa umvamuntu atheni uthwasa mhlawumbe uthwasa dloti lama kwakhe dloti lagogo wakhe. The reason why kwente kanjalo ukuthi lamadloti makafika kubafika as as makwakho or as your granny, because your mom or your granny was once familiar with leso spirits leso, meaning mhlawumbe uke wathwasa uke wakholelwa emadlotini, but basically wena naleso spirits leso you are not related. Kahle kahle he's saying ukuthi nje lento leyo emadloti wayiphili ayikho. Awucommente wena lapho umbukele ekhaya ukuthi ucabangani ngalokhu lokukhulunywa ngupastor Sipho. Mina nawe siyibona next time. Sengihembe.